Is it
Oh,
time?
dropped. Wow.
Oof. All right. XS on blue side. They've taken away Trundle. Pretty oppressive in the jungle. Sort of takes that early swing and pushes forwards. We've got Zoe gone. Reworked Olaf as well as XS pinch the jungle pool.
I mean, taking off reworked Olaf, I think is a very wise choice to me. That
Oh,
champion,
yeah.
kind of strong at the moment, right? Infinite ult, I just don't want to see that in any of my games. I mean, maybe watching it, you know, might be a different experience, but I don't want to see that play in any of my games. As Fiora now is going to be the ban for Bisoners.
Fiora away. I think so. Let's qualify this. You've done most of the prep for this tournament.
Vaguely.
Coming in nice and hot, but you did take a moment to tell me all about Catalysst in the top lane for XS Esports. Likes his Alawies, his Kleds, Fioras, gets straight up in the front. Likes to be that melee threat in the top lane. Slow bans here. Both teams taking their time to try and find that little bit of extra advantage. I think that might be a ban gone from XS. So a very different champion select to what we're used to. Okay, there's been a technical error. We gotta go back. We're gonna run this one back in just a minute. So
in terms of the first two bans for both teams, what are you predicting to come out here, Temporal? I think we'd like to see Trundle bans coming through. I think we'd like to see an Olaf ban as well, maybe.
Yeah, I think those pretty decent. So XS clearly like removing things away. The jungle seems odd, so there is a mix of sort of levels of play in this one. We've got everyone solo queue ranks, but the way this was budgeted to prevent, you know, someone entering a pretty much ERL team, or just 5 friends at home maybe not having the optimal gameplay experience, is there was a power budget for each team. Bisoners' budget is clearly not in the jungle, but the respect bans away maybe hint that XS sort of want that to not be an issue for them. They don't want enemy jungler to slow them down. Most of the budget for Bisoners going up in the top lane, so those top target bans from Bisoners make a lot of sense. Getting those slightly off-standard picks away means that hopefully Merwin Disciple in this top lane won't struggle, won't have a problem breaking Catalysst down.
I mean, Bisoners, I think it is worth noting that Bisoners have been fielding a lot of different rosters recently, right? So maybe banning out these champions, you know, might indicate a difference in playstyle. I'm actually very surprised to see if it is actually Mo and Disciple playing up in the top lane here for Bisoners, assuming they have not substituted that player up, because they played a lot of Fiora.
Yeah, they were the Fiora themselves as well. Very contested.
Maybe if you've played so much with that champion, if you're on the Bisoners team, you know how oppressive that can be in the hands of a competent player. Want to get rid of that? I think that makes a lot of sense.
If this is blue 1 Fiora, I'm gonna lose my mind. Well, I guess it can't be, but both teams are like, they're gonna pick it first, and we can't have blue side. That's incredible. I love that sort of draft. We are coming back in, the bans reeling through nice and fast. We've got Trundle, we've got Olaf back again. Zoe and the Fiora. Now we have to continue here with 3. Hovering Tristana.
I think this suggests to me maybe XL looking for a first pick Lucian, because Bisoners, BSO Daniflu is very competent on both the Lucian and the Tristana. So the Tristana ban away here, aiming to both squeeze their champion pool, you know, getting the one armored pincer ban coming through, and then picking up the Lucian on B1. Obviously a very strong pick in this tournament, especially with the likes of Nami or any enchanter. I think would do a real blow to the Bison bot lane. Instead, it's going to be the Viego picked up here first.
Viego already in. Normally seen as a counter pick into that heavy dive, into your Volibear, into your Jarvan. So taking it off the top, just sort of throwing the gauntlet to Bisons. And as you mentioned, there's the super priority. There's the Lucian Nami come through. So XS throwing the challenger, and Bisons have answered strong.
Yeah, I think this is somewhat to be expected from the Bisons. And in response, it's going to be a Rakan here for XL. You talked about, you know, Lucian Nami having a lot of priority, having a lot of power in this laning phase. Rakan doesn't really have that same power, especially not until you hit level 6, until you get that quickness, because your engage can be dashed away from very easily with Lucian with that relentless pursuit. And if you can't battle dance back, or if your ADC is out of position, getting slowed up by the Nami, slowed up by this Lucian, taken down very, very squishy at these early levels.
So, if I am not mistaken, my good friend, and I say good friend because I've spoken to him twice and I'm not a social animal, Spuds is in the mid lane for XS. So I'm expecting great things in drafts. I'm getting a no from production. It's not Spuds. So sorry, Spuds. Maybe next time, buddy.
Maybe on the back chance.
So with that point completely ejected through the window, we are into the second round of bans. Lee Sin rounding out Lucian Nami playmaking early, breaking bot lane as best you can. Great to see it together. The Alawi, another target ban here. This is a Catalyst's favorite thing. I really enjoy playing Alawi at the moment. Very strong champion. Sort of setting the stage as a maybe an R5 mid with a heavily defended topside pickup on red 4.
I mean, I think that's a very safe thing to do. There's a lot of safe picks up in the top lane now. You don't want to get abused, you know, if you're Cyan, right? If you want to pick the Ornn, you don't want to get beaten up, slapped around by the tentacles, especially if you're going to ban away the Kled, another champion that could scrap it out very well early in the lane. So both those bans here for Bisoners makes sense. Maybe going to look towards, yeah, something a little bit. Wants to just have a bit of an easier time in lane, scale into those team fights.
Yeah, I think we can all smell what Ornn is cooking, and it's a red 4 pick. Most likely here for Bisons, so we'll have to see. It's almost certainly Ornn, so I think XS, just thinking about it, they will ban it away. They won't opt to play into it.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Obviously, Ornn gives a lot of engage. Actually, a pretty deadly combo with that tidal wave coming out from Nami as well. Knockups on knockups on knockups.
Sows away a lot of the weaknesses, or not needing to dive forwards, can just stay on top of his carries, and if they're near a wall, that's a stun, that's 2 stuns, and then the Call of the Forge Guard on top. Makes very difficult play. Bisoners will continue with their draft plan. Red 4 designated to a safe top laner before XS get to respond.
So look at the Bisoners draft here, right? I see a Lee Sin, I see a Lucian, I see a Gnar. These champions aren't particularly long range. They're all heavily indexed into AD as well. I think maybe even something like the Malphite here on 4-5 for XS could do a lot of good work, especially because it can back up that Rakan engage or act as the primary initiator to allow Rakan to get that quickness, get those knockups coming through. Instead, it's going to be a Shen, which I feel serves a similar role.
Very similar. So play for the team, try and defend that Aphelios, try and converge everything together on this most versatile of AD carries. Vex will follow, or maybe not. Okay, XS just playing with us a little here.
Ooh, I mean, the Syndra can get priority in lane. It's a fairly decent blind pick. Oh, please, you're playing with my heart. Just choose a champion and stick on it.
Syndra also works quite well here. You've got that stun forwards. You can stop Lucian's approach. You can try and break the ankles of a sort of hyper carry, commit some damage to them. That's not the biggest point. What we want to see here is a scatter the weak that prevents an approach, keeps the Aphelios safe. Looks like XS have put all of their money, all of their eggs in the 4-1 basket, with Shen joining the main unit as soon as Aphelios is found.
And I'm going to be really interested to see what heavy AP threat, because it almost certainly will be a heavy AP threat that's going to be picked up in the mid lane for Bisons here. As I said, we've got a lot of AD damage, and it's actually going to be the reworked Taliyah coming out.
Very exciting. Taliyah on 12-9, completely changed in the way she plays. The kit will look familiar, the abilities will look familiar. What they actually do in the moment-to-moment has changed significantly. We see a lot more damage for people trespassing on her stone field, for popping those or making a dash. Much more damage coming through from the Taliyah, and then the AoE presence, she can consume her worked ground to do even more damage, and in an AoE fashion.
I mean, you talk about the damage coming through from Taliyah, that's a really good point. I also want to mention the stun coming through. Viego likes to dash forwards with that stun, doesn't like to get CC'd themselves. Rakan likes to look for the engage or disengage with that battle dance. A knockdown and a stun leaves one very vulnerable bird. I mean, even denying the Shen taunt here, really, really powerful by this there, and I really like this pickup on 5.
You can go even further. One of Rakan's bonuses, one of the great things he plays for in this sort of setup is, if the Aphelios is stable, has lots of ammo on his long-range gun, it's not going to matter if Rakan is there for Lucian, Nami. You know, they're going to walk up over the wave anyway. Might as well let that Rakan free, get them out with the Syndra, and go looking for something. Go to mid, try and invade your opponent's jungle. With Taliyah now in the mix, with Rakan where Rakan wants to go, that gets even riskier and may cause XS to fall a little bit short in the mid game.
We'll see if they're able to pull out a similar amount of damage in this game as we finally make it onto the Rift, and it looks like XS are going to be trying to stack down towards the spot lane.
Alright, a reasonable strategy from 2022, just running forwards, just quick check on it to your opponent's bushes. Instead, they're going to spread out over the south quadrant, maybe predicting that the Bisoners are going to come forwards over that. Instead, the Bisoners opting for something a bit wider, opting for a full 5 spread. This means your opponent can't get into your jungle anyway, can't approach, can't sneakily show up behind you.
And you can see here, Goodoldayz has put the wall down in that mid lane, that middle bottom brush. He's going to be able to pick up the sweeper, going to be able to, you know, deny any sort of vision here, make Lee Sin feel a little bit less safe looking for these ganks in the bot lane, make, you know, the pushing power of this Lucian and of this Nami a little bit more vulnerable.
It is, and when you've got the Electrocute on Nami, which is the level 2 all-in, completely destroys your opponents, having that bush warded so your opponents can't just step forwards right at the edge of vision and start that trade is really, really important. Got to see XS act on it now, but they've set themselves up for success.
Both junglers are going to be starting on the bot side of the map right here, which means we may see a little bit of a scuffle around the scuttle. God, that was a bit of a tongue twister. But it's going to, I think how that scuttle goes, how it's going to be, decided, is going to depend on whether or not Gnar can get the push up in this top lane. You would expect, ranged into melee, Gnar to be able to harass down Catalysst just a little bit. Trolge, maybe, get the better of these trades. But it's worth noting, Shen, you think of them as, a teamfight scaler sitting on the side lane. Actually, a really impressive duelist as well. If you can find that taunt onto the Gnar, find that empowered Q coming through, like Empowered Spirit Blade, I think there is a chance that Shen can get priority in this top lane.
Yeah, and Shen, it's easy to forget, was just so popular a few years ago. It was present in most games of professional play. The all-in from Shen, as you mentioned, really great. You hit the taunt, you get a few Qs in, get your cooldowns back down, and you're set up to try and 1v1 pretty much anything on the Rift. Viego, though,
dash forwards by Lucian. Knockup does connect onto Nami, flash away. Danfu getting chunked out. The ignite comes through the flash from Baconizer. They pick up the first blood onto Essith. Dashing forwards, not going to finish up this trade yet, but maybe dashing into your Dune. LADRÓN finds one back.
All right, the counter gank coming through there. Baconizer goes a little too deep, a little too fast.
A little too ham, you might say.
Oh, it was ham for sure. In that case, it's 1-for-1 back over. Advantage, I'm going to give it to XS here, getting a kill on that Aphelios this early, which is really good.
Yeah, and just denying Lucian some of this XP. Flash forwards, taunt comes through. Gnar does full Catalysst, finds the trade, finds the kill.
Stylish moves, that tower shot there from Hugie, enough to unfortunately set Catalysst up for the flash taunt. Comes towards LADRÓN. He's coming back to revisit this bottom lane. He might struggle to get in here. That's a huge wave.
Yeah, nicely sussed out there from Essith and Goodoldayz. Being like, we don't have to shove this wave on turret. We don't have to die for it. Just chooses to take the reset instead.
Gonna get out of it, nice and relaxed. Go back to shop. Buy already the entire quiver for the Aphelios. And when you're set up with that item, when you've got that much gold in your pocket, and you've got the fleet footwork, it's pretty safe. LADRÓN's behind Fabio here.
Just going to be able to push over the Force of Will. The Sonic Wave does connect. Both flashes committed. LADRÓN finds the kill, but maybe answered back. Baconizer on the prowl, but the minion wave going to prevent any sort of stun from coming through. No flash available. Stunned up. Connects with the Sonic Wave. That shove would come back. Maybe we see a re-engage, but instead both parties walk it out.
Very tense. Neither team willing to commit would be a bit extra. Remember, we're only 4 minutes in. They're still level 4 and 3 all across the board. So maybe not the time to just be going all in all the time. But neither team letting up on the gas so far.
Yeah, I do like to see LADRÓN answer back because, you find the solo kill on the top lane, you find a successful gank in the bot lane for XS. As Viego may be looking for another one, Ayrwind walks up, stun comes through, flashes away from that battle dance, will be able to survive. But yeah, like Lucian being able to get a little bit more for activity, answer these plays coming out from Baconizer. I think that's good for Bisoners. They do need to be making use of this early advantage.
They can fall behind. You made a point earlier. Their early game explosive has to be followed through. Otherwise, we might run into some issues later on. Might have to be some hand checks to keep the game even. Ayrwind and Daniflu have not quite had that explosive level 2 we expect from the Electrocute Nami Lucian late. So we're just holding on. We're just going to wait to see. We're going to go next. Junglers across the board. Just moving around. No fixed plays here. Sin takes a slightly disadvantageous trade, but no one in position to set up just yet. Baconizer has sacrificed his pathing, actually. He's just holding around in mid.
Both these junglers unafraid to get stuck in, unafraid to, look to influence these lanes, and I respect that, Farm to level 6, kind of boring. Actually, the stun does connect onto SNC. Q's coming through, but just going to be able to dive under turret.
Backed up by Goodoldayz, backed up by the Baconizer. So it would be quite difficult for Bisoners to get back into this river without some of the manipulations.
Looking for the dive, the knockup comes through. Fabibu picks up the kill, and it's non-stop action all across the rift.
Alright, Fabibu in a great position. It's capitalized upon. Stan United comes through.
Dashing away from that taunt, LADRÓN does not get slowed up. Stun does not come through, smiting away that Grom. Looking for the re-engage with that Sonic Wave, actually taking a significant chunk of damage. Ayrwind is in the area. Daniflu is here to prevent any sort of dive.
With the smite, with Ayrwind support, LADRÓN just about survives, but that will be a numbers advantage now. Gnar is
going for the down. Damage comes through, the taunt comes out. A little bit of greed there from LADRÓN ends up costing them dearly. A dragon will go over to XS.
That's what driving with your foot just on the gas will do. Takes a corner a little, unfortunately. Going back to the Gromp too quickly. Proceed over Dragon 1 to XS.
This is a bit of an action-packed game, a bit of a bloody one, you know. We want to kill a minute, ganks galore. Even when there haven't been kills in the ganks, there's still been things happening. But in the end, it has resulted in a 1,500 gold lead in favor of XS, as well as first dragon in their back pocket.
Can't argue with it at all. They're out on the board first, and we should highlight, this isn't going to be the same as like an EU Masters game. This isn't going to be the case of they've got a 2,000-3,000 gold lead. You're going to see it snowball. You're going to see it end. We've got to see our fans get it over the line. They've got to sort of bring that together. I'm not sure these are pre-made rank 5 teams with loads of experience. Okay, starting to trade. It's not going to be a huge all-in, but that's a huge wave into the tower.
Yeah, really big crash here. Catalysst should be able to get a very, very nice reset off, which, you know, did have to teleport top lane to get that crash. Actually, just going to stick around, stay inside the bush.
I'm going to hang around, you know, not wanting to commit to shit. They have not long left base, so maybe not a huge buy in their pocket. Could try and surprise Hugle here.
I mean, trying to get some stacks in that Dark Seal, the taunt comes through, but you're fighting into a Mega Gnar who nars you under the turret, and we saw how much Gnar can chunk out on these trades, but so can Catalysst. The red buff slow won't be enough to chase him down.
He did have the flash Q to kill him there, but not committing at this stage. Catalysst saving his summoner spells for his teammates. I'm talking about the teammates of Catalysst. XS look to dive in mid. It will be counted.
Stun comes through, damage comes out, power unleashed comes through for Fabu. Kill goes over to the mid lane.
SNC not quite in position. LADRÓN will pay with his life. As XS continue to push forwards. They haven't got an immediate follow-up. They are moving towards the Herald, but with top lane coming in and SNC lined up in mid, it will have to be another dive. It'll have to be something else before XS can convert.
I'm sure they're definitely going to look for something else knowing this team, seeing how they're playing, unafraid to keep pressure on every single lane. Maybe looking for the dive onto SNC? No, just going to be able to take the plate away.
Spreading themselves pretty thin here. If LADRÓN had just walked straight to the Herald, it would be a disaster for XS. Instead, looks like they're going to get away with it. Baconizer will slow himself down. His top jungle still up. And the respawn time is not ticking on those camps. But at the same time, SNC feeling the pressure.
Looking for the dive. You see there, the Taliyah E blocks the Rakan engage. Now Fabu in a lot of trouble. Flash Sonic Wave connects. No insect though. Nice force of will. Stun comes out. Viego ultimate breaks the heart of Bisoners. A double kill. Flash over the wall to escape the turret, but maybe just brought you to another kill. Damage comes down. Goodoldayz picks it up.
XS hold their nerve, and with the return scat of the week, they are able to survive, and the Baconizer turns it back around, gets SNC into the tower, and with that, XS explode on the map. That gold lead nearly 5,000, and the Herald will make it grow.
Oh my lord. Look at that gold difference in the mid lane. Fabu has almost twice as much. Never mind, I can't talk about that. There's a fight up in the top lane. Catalysst getting taken out. Doesn't have that Spirit Blade. Does manage to get that safeguard through. It's still going to eat a lot of damage. The minion wave, flash away. Q comes out, blocked by the shield. Catalysst may be able to walk it out on an inch of health. Hugle, flash for the boomerang, shut down to the Gnar.
Just the punches of sort of the battle of inches in the top lane. And in the end, just a 1-inch punch. The flash Q from Hugle is enough, and Catalysst punished for overstaying in the top lane.
I mean, we're above a kill a minute. It's a very aggressive game of League of Legends.
Faster.
No, please, my voice will give out, I swear. I mean, I wouldn't blame XS with their 5.5k gold lead if they did want to look for more plays and just keep being greedy. And we talked about how Bisoners need to have, you know, this early momentum. Well, didn't need, but really wanted this early momentum with their comp. I think 5,000 gold in the hole is not really the position they were hoping to be in going into the 15 minutes. Now, of course, you do have the Taliyah, the utility. We saw the stun coming onto the Rakan, denies the engage so incredibly heavily. But I think if, you know, XS can stack up these dragons, stack up these objectives, further accelerate their lead, Bison's going to have a really tough time of it around the soul point. Instead, Goodoldayz looking for the engage on to this Lucian, dashed away, flashes out, Moonlight Vigil goes wide, but now it's LADRÓN on the regank, ult coming through from the Shen. It's a lot of abilities blown, but Catalysst picks up the kill, LADRÓN in danger as well. Auto attacks, that's a 200 damage crit already from the Aphelios. LADRÓN will fall, it's a 2-0 in favor of XS.
What excellent work from XS. Goodoldayz, I've just been told in the background, the shot caller, the leader for this team, calls for the Stand United at the perfect moment when Bisoners had committed everything to this bottom lane play, and they are punished. They will lose the next dragon, and that gold lead continues to balloon to 6,000.
I mean, obviously, Hugle will be able to hit this turret in the top lane, get a couple of plates with the Mega Gnar, does take them down fairly quickly, but it's not going to be enough to answer the play on the opposite side of the map.
Oh no, Daniflu.
No. Knockup comes through, stun comes out, exhaust just absolutely blown to shreds.
Not respecting the position upon this tier 1 and will fall. A smart pick from XS keeps them behind Bisoners tier 1.
That's going to be the second, maybe, at least going to take down to one plate, but maybe a second full turret taken by XS. They're just walking around the map, picking up the standing gold. Actually, instead, they're looking for more kills. Ayrwind charmed up, knockup not even used by the Rakan yet, just blown apart by Essith. And it's an absolute massacre. It's just repeat gank after repeat gank after repeat gank in the spot lane. LADRÓN maybe looking
on the gas.
Get one back. Does hit with that Q, but dealing not enough damage. Knock up, ignite, and that was a little bit of overconfidence maybe. But maybe had to try something.
Goodoldayz is playing out of his mind in this bottom lane. Catalysst will just avoid Hugle. Rakan has done so much, but now his Shen is left on his own.
Yeah, eating the worst end of the trade there. Does have the plated steel caps, has a couple of cloth armors, should probably be safe from this dive.
It'll be a little tight. We'll have to see if Hugle can try and remake that solo kill onto the Shen. Try and take those Dark Seal stacks away. Such an excellent item on most top laners that can roam and pick up a kill or two. The tower will now assist.
Yeah, but Catalysst is going to eat some up on the backside. Still, nice trade onto Hugle. But I don't think there's much kill pressure up here on top. Unless one of the players, you know, decides to all in.
It's close. With
Sure,
that,
it might.
with that Balmy Cinder, Shen does do an awful lot of damage when this taunt connects. Everything comes together. Pings down onto LADRÓN's position. Looks like the bottom river will be the location for the next fight.
The stun comes through. That's half health and 1 QE. LADRÓN flashes, but the auto follows, picks up the kill.
How stylish. XS is starting to really, really look good and really play it forwards this game. Objective bounties will come through. Something for Bisoners to try and fight their way back in.
I mean, it's a little bit of a silver lining. As SNC forced to flash away, outplay button not available for Syndra, is now maybe just going to look to flash but Ayrwind is on the flank. Flash is available, trying to dodge away. Thank you, Pato. Ult comes out from Shen, going to deny any further engage. Catalysst, you're on 1 health.
Hoogie, I think, had pinged the top lane was going
SNC gets hit by the Q.
Oh, he's outplayed! The outplay button came through!
The mechanics from Fabu there, dodging even away from that Q. But that was a little bit of overconfidence fighting it, and I think that's just the story of this game. Overconfidence, LADRÓN running for their life. Goredrinker won't be enough to save them. But look, Baconizer not done, looking to turn Lucian into their favorite little dish. Dash under the turret, picks up the kill. Ayrwind, is this kill going to be donated? No, it's going to be taken away by Essith. Meanwhile, Catalysst in the top lane looking to answer back onto Hugle. Can they find the damage? Kite is there, the move speed is there to dash. Doesn't connect, but the auto will.
Such stylish moves. XS across the board will get the delayed ace. They take out everyone in swift fashion. It looked okay for SNC at the start of that play. The stun stopped Goodoldayz. The approach was broken, but the outplay button, as you mentioned, Power Unleashed became available, and 1 by 1 they fall to XS.
Now, XS, 15 minutes into the game.
Oh no.
I've almost got 1,000 gold lead per minute.
Oh no.
LADRÓN getting auto, getting run down. The stun comes through onto Baconizer, but also onto the Lee Sin. Sonic Wave go connect. I think his heart and his mind are telling him though this time.
I don't know, my mind is definitely telling me more. Oh, the crits onto SNC. There's so much damage in this game, Casual.
Yeah, it's It's like, you know, when people say League of Legends has a little bit of damage creep, I often, you know, I think they're over-exaggerating a little bit, but then...
It was reduced!
It's actually not like, I just think, you know, Bison is maybe waiting for the next patch when that finally does come through. I think they're just, they're wishing the tournament was played maybe a couple of weeks later.
I'm looking forward to the vulnerability changes. I think it'll be a really great way to sort of return the game to sort of a previous state, but clearly not the case here, as Essith does an incredible amount of damage. Anyone he touches vulnerable to the superstar Aphelios AD carry.
I mean, you say Essith, I think nearly everyone on XS does a lot of damage right now. Viego, deadly. 10 stacks on this Medjay for Fabivu in the mid lane. Catalysst maybe going to get run down in mid, but Fabivu and Goodoldayz on the flank. Primary shot caller looking for the engage. Pull comes through, the stun comes out onto Goodoldayz. Charm is there, and Fabivu actually dodges away from the Gnar. Meanwhile, it's Baconizer on the backline, 1v3. Fabivu getting run down, but the gold still goes over. Baconizer zones away the rest of the team. Hugle picks up one, but will pay with it for their life.
It is a 3-for-1 in a 4v5. Essith was still in the base, and despite all of that, Bisoners still fall. Fabivu, as our last donator mentioned, yes, straight through, gets the job done, and with that, XL continue to advance forwards. The base now theirs to crack, because they have absolute domination across the board.
Yeah, Baconizer looking to add some eggs cracked to their breakfast. Looking to take open this Exus turret, well, this inhib turret. Herald put down. Sadly, we're not going to see a Shelly dance this game, but I still think the inhibitor, maybe. There are still 5 up for Bisoners. Looking for it. Catalysst actually eating up rather a lot of poke. Ooh. Just gets shredded apart. A little bit too overconfident there.
From SNC.
Yeah, nicely done. Pushing the back into the stun, but... You know, it's a little bit of a silver lining. I said that before, but you're 12k gold down. You're 3 dragons down. You got your inhib cracked open at 18 minutes.
If there's anything we know about our fans, they never give up.
And, if there's anything we know about Bisoners at the moment, they are getting absolutely slaughtered.
It's not going well.
I'm trying to see the positives here, but when that happens to your Taliyah, SNC barely survives with the heal. The auto attack comes through from Essith, and I think XS looking to just close, maybe pick up some more kills. Don't have the waves to close it out, but they do. I think this one's fairly done and dusted. Now, I have seen big gold leads thrown, but none quite this big. The ult for the Shen, looking for the engage, thirsty for blood. Instead, LADRÓN just going to be able to walk it out.
Just walks it out, this minion wave coming forwards. XS look to attack the Nexus towers.
Lucian, that's more like a pea shooter than the culling, I'm going to be honest. Catalysst tanking up, taking a lot of damage though. Did pull last time, but no, the Nexus turrets are going to be taken down. Shredded coming through. Goodoldayz has a double knockup. So much damage, actually very low. Able to dash away. Meanwhile, Catalysst gets engaged and has that safeguard. The Aphelios ult connects onto 2. That's very, very meaty. Baconizer picks up a kill. Actually dropped very low. LADRÓN dodging for their life. Fancy footwork. Will it be enough to save them? Yes, it does just about. Shut down for Taliyah onto this Viego, but it's not going to matter. Nexus will fall in favor of XS.